Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So the merge has happened. RIP to the Ethereum miners out there. Somebody over there on Twitter posted their ceremony, the death of their Ethereum mining rigs here. Take a look at this. It's the end, guys. That is it for Ethereum mining. This posted by the Cryptic Poet over there on Twitter. So what happened to Ethereum? Take a look at this. Since the merge, look at the price of Ethereum. It did drop quite significantly. When you compare it to the rest of the crypto market, I'm looking at Ethereum right now. It's trading at about $1,400 per coin. And take a look at that dip over the 15th. If I bring up Bitcoin here, you guys can see that correction was not nearly as prominent as the correction over there on the Ethereum chart. And bringing up XRP real quick here too, you can see there was still a correction, but it did rebound quite healthily afterwards. XRP right now trading at about 32.8. So what's going on, guys? Is Ethereum dead in the water? And does it matter? I mean, we're XRP hodlers. We don't care about Ethereum. Let's just take a look at some numbers right now. So the market cap, as you guys can see, is hovering back under that $1 trillion mark. So we did lose some market capitalization there. Bitcoin on the 24 hours down 1.73%. Okay, Ethereum down the most here in the top 10 coins, down 7.15. We've got other coins like XRP in the number 7 spot, down 2.71. Cardano is down 1.78. Solana down 2.7. Dogecoin down 0.88%. So that's in the last 24 hours. And again, just highlighting here, Ethereum has had the worst day, and a lot are attributing this to the merge. So what is this going to mean moving forward? And is the World Economic Forum, yes, the World Economic Forum, are they eyeing Ethereum? Well, we have a lot of evidence to suggest that, the World Economic Forum, the powers that be, all those organizations globally, are going to be partnering with Ripple. But is there a bigger play at hand behind closed doors that maybe we're not privy to? Some on Twitter are suggesting that this is the case, guys. So I'm going to get to that, but first I'm going to run through some of this with regards to the Ripple SEC lawsuit, because this ties in as well. Bill at Balisari is here posting this. I have seen a lot of comments about the Chamber's amicus brief not helping Ripple, but being good for XRP hodlers. To a point, this may be correct. The Chamber wants the court to differentiate between the transaction involving a digital asset, which may be an investment contract, and the asset itself, which the Chamber wants the court to see, at least at some point from its life, as a commodity. The Chamber wants the court to realize that whether a transaction involving a digital asset is a security and whether the asset itself is a security are separate inquiries. The exchanges would be happy if the court drew a line at offers by an issuer or promoter and not find digital assets themselves to be securities in most instances. The exchanges would be happy with the Chamber's arguments. It would mean much secondary market trading doesn't involve a security, which is exactly what we want, right? As traders, as crypto traders in general, but also XRP holders buying XRP on the secondary market. What the Chamber doesn't want is a precedent in the Ripple case where the court finds that today's XRP is a security without making separate inquiries that differentiate between Ripple's transactions involving XRP and XRP itself. So this is going to be a really important part of this. And, the Chamber for digital commerce, they are on our side by and large, because it is really going to affect every coin being traded in the secondary market. Let me continue here. Such a finding would be bad news for many cryptos and most US exchanges which listed XRP. However, the Chamber will have achieved something positive, even if the court finds Ripple's sales were investment contracts and today's XRP in the specific facts of the case is a security. A bad result for XRP holders if the court at least recognizes that there are two separate inquiries to make both inquiries in this case. Therefore, I don't look at the Chamber's brief as good or not good for Ripple or XRP holders, so Bill's still staying a little lukewarm on this. I do think it's important and good for the case if the court accepts the difference between Ripple's transactions involving XRP and the asset itself and recognizes the different inquiries. That's exactly how it should be. And that sentiment from H. Hendricks here. Swish saying, stop, this motion is completely immaterial. So some people here disagreeing with Bill. Another interesting point here from a Dingo ate my XRP. Chamber of Digital Commerce will be releasing some clips explaining their amicus brief and arguments in the Ripple SEC case. And he says this is worth a follow. So just retweeting out the Chamber of Digital Commerce's tweet here. Today at the Crypto Conundrum, a conversation, we spoke to Lilia Tesler from Sydney Law, the law firm which filed the amicus brief, Ripple versus the SEC on the Digital Chamber of Commerce's behalf. Stay tuned for more. We will be releasing more clips from the conversation in the upcoming days, so I am going to follow them, and hopefully we get some more clips here. This one was basically an intro clip. I'm not going to play it for you, but you guys can watch it. I will link it in the description of the video for you guys. I really wanted to talk about the Ethereum merge and how some are perceiving this as a potential negative thing, more competition for Ripple, and the assumption is that the powers that be are going to get their hands on Ethereum now that it has moved from proof of work to proof of stake. So Neeraj Agrawal here posted this: does a switch to proof of stake have any regulatory implications for Ethereum? We think not. Now, that's also a contested issue here. He goes on to say the Ethereum merge is resurfacing questions about regulatory differences between proof of stake and proof of work. And as we've said many times, we do not believe that the technological differences between proof of stake and proof of work warrant any different treatment. The two major issues that folks tend to raise are securities law and OFAC policy, the latter especially now in the light of the Tornado Cash smart contract addresses being added to the SDN list of sanctioned persons and property. On the securities law side, SEC has always stressed that they look at the economic realities of transactions rather than the terms or technologies used to create those realities. The approach is substance over form, and it's also the approach we've advocated for in our framework for securities regulation going back as far as 2016. So in this document here, in this article, they do argue that there really isn't a difference here. They even argue in past work that the economic realities dictate that validating a chain through staking are similar. In both cases, validators are an open set of participants, and the only precondition to participation is provably suffering some cost. In proof of work, that cost is energy and computer resources. In proof of stake, it is the time value of money, e.g., the opportunity cost of holding an asset needing for staking rather than spending it. So they're likening the differences in with a similar connection there. I get his point. I don't know if this is going to stick. Again, I'm not going to read this whole article for you, but he does bring up some interesting points here. When this came out, though, Gary Gensler said Ether staking could trigger securities laws. So this was just out recently. Though he did not specify any particular crypto, SEC Chair Gary Gensler said proof of stake cryptocurrencies could be subject to securities laws. So whereas before he was stating, most cryptocurrencies are going to be considered securities, especially if there was an ICO. But, it's going to be those proof of work coins that are not going to be considered securities. Now it looks as though Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency that is in that category. Maybe a handful of others, a small minority of others. But Bitcoin now looking to be that major cryptocurrency, the one biggest cryptocurrency that is not going to be classified as a security. So here's Gary Gensler's reasoning. Ethereum's upgrade to proof of stake may have placed the cryptocurrency back in the crosshairs of the SEC. Speaking to reporters after the Senate Banking Committee on Thursday, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler reportedly said that cryptocurrencies and intermediaries that allow holders to stake their crypto may define it as a security under the Howey test. So now he's coming out and attacking Ethereum, which kind of puts a wrench in this whole ETH theory that the XRP community has brought forth. Let's address the elephant in the room. So he says from the coin's perspective, that's another indication that under the Howey test, the investing public is anticipating profits based on the efforts of others. The comments came on the same day as Ethereum's transition to proof of stake, meaning the network will no longer rely on energy-intensive proof of work mining and instead allows validators to verify transactions and create new blocks in a process that involves staking. Gensler said that allowing holders to stake coins results in the investing public anticipating profits based on the efforts of others. Gensler went on to say that intermediaries offering staking services to its customers look very similar, with some changes of labeling to lending. So Gensler now coming out and saying because there is a different process, because the token is now processed differently, it could go from not a security to a security. Gabor Gerbax here, director of the digital asset strategy at American investment firm Van Eck, tweeted to his followers, and this is what he said. The SEC chair says the system used by Ethereum following software updates could trigger securities laws, literally published on day one of the fork/merge. I've been saying this for over 6 years that proof of work to proof of stake transitions can draw regulatory attention. To be clear, I'm not saying that Ethereum is necessarily a security because of its proof model. But regulators do talk about staking in the context of dividends, which is one feature of what securities laws calls a common enterprise. There are other factors in the Howey test, though, as well. So he is saying, there is a case for Gary Gensler's opinion here. Gerbax went on to clarify that regulators refer to rewards from staking as dividends, which is a feature of the Howey test. So, yeah, I mean, if you are receiving dividends, that is more like a security than not a security. I can see the point. So, guys, where is this going? And are we still believing the whole ETHgate thing if Gary Gensler is now turning around? I mean, he hasn't done anything yet, but he is turning around and he is saying, okay, now Ethereum looks more like a security because of the proof of stake model. Stuart Alderati chiming in today's Senate Banking Committee hearings, Chair Gensler misstated the Supreme Court test to determine what is and isn't a security. Was it intentional, or does he not know what the law is and which is worse? So, Mr. Intuitive Trumers only saying he thinks it's intentional. SMSF trader down here saying intentional and part of the backroom deals. Chip here from On the Chain saying, you tell a lie so many times you forget what is the truth. Benny X saying the dawning of the great lie being a reality is truth is only starting to become known. That's why they own the munitions industry. Conspira XRP theorist down here saying Gensler only knows his own interpretation. He does not believe he's wrong, and that's narcissism. That's a personality disorder, a mental condition. Okay. So we've got some people chiming in here with regards to Gary Gensler's statement. On the Ethereum front, though, okay, let's look at the numbers. This coming from Anders here on Twitter. Oh, wow. Retweeting out Santiment's tweet. And what Santiment noticed, according to the Ethereum post-merge inflation dashboard, 46.15. So that's 46.15% of the proof of stake nodes for storing data, processing transactions, and adding new blockchain blocks can be attributed to just 2 addresses. So take a look at this, guys. This is the Ethereum post-merge inflation chart here. We've got block validators here and the share, the percentage share. And if you add up real quickly, 28.97 plus 16.18, the 2 top ones there, that equals 45.15%. And you guys can see the rest are quite low in comparison to that. So only 2 addresses account for 46.15%. This is heavy dominance by these addresses, which is something to watch. So then it begs the question, was it a twofold reason why they went to proof of stake? To centralize the power at the top, and to also be able to say that now they're cutting their energy by 99%, which coincidentally, or maybe not so coincidentally, falls in line with this whole narrative of, environmental sustainability, climate-friendly agendas, all that stuff that we've been hearing from, hires up that say, okay, this is how blockchain has to be in order for it to succeed in a new financial framework. Alpha Zeta down here saying, so let's recap the first day of the Ethereum hard fork. Okay, the SEC warns it may be a security. The price drops 6+%. The ETC hash rate hits an all-time high. Mempool seems stuck, but no one knows because there are no nodes. And 4 validators now control everything. Looks great. Congratulations. Vitalik also said, if we look at this clip down here, that the laws of physics don't apply to Ethereum.
So I think like to summarize, one of the ways that I think about this in a more philosophical way is like proof of work is based on the laws of physics. And so you sort of have to work with the world as it is, right? You have to work with, electricity as it is, hardware as it is, what computers are as it is. Whereas because proof of stake is virtualized in this way, it's basically letting us create a simulated universe that has its own laws of physics. And that just gives us as protocol developers a lot more freedom to optimize the system around actually having all of the different security properties that we want, right? And if we want the system to have a particular security guarantee, and then like often there is a way to modify the proof of stake mechanism to also achieve it. So it's just much more flexible, and it shows through in the efficiency and the security of the network.
So because of proof of stake, now they are in their own world and the laws of physics do not apply. Okay, but let's continue, guys. Jane Addams here on Twitter posting this, the rumors are true, and the NWO will use Ethereum to base their CBDCs. Now, I don't know where she got this idea, until I did a little more research. Anders here saying a lot of wholesale CBDC projects have trialed different private versions of Ethereum, yes, but Corda seems to be the popular decision. RLP-farm.d here saying it would be nice to have an official number of CBs who have committed to build their CBDC on Ripple's private ledger or CBDC ledger platform. I've heard many and over a dozen, but never an official figure. Maybe we can get an update at Swell. So, this whole theory suggests that now Ethereum is in competition with Ripple creating central bank digital currencies. Mr. Intuitive Trummers Only saying, Miss Adams, you're really going off the path. And Crypto Dash down here saying, wrong. These are the projects that the NWO/WEF picked. So instead of telling others to do your own research, why don't you take that advice and do your own proper research? Here, start with this. And of course, he brings up the World Economic Forum cryptocurrencies that they laid out in a paper back in June of 2021. Stellar, Solana, XRP, CeeLo, Cardano, and Algorand. Now, these are all cryptocurrencies that fall in line with those talking points from the World Economic Forum. And Ethereum was not on the list. However, this was from over a year ago now, and Ethereum had not merged at that point. So is there going to be a shift? And now is Ethereum on the WEF's list? Some people down here also responding, you really have a knack for not paying attention. Not one single entity has come out saying that. Meanwhile, they are lining up to get involved with XRP, XLM, Algo, HBAR. You simply don't get it, so stop trying. It's Scoops XRP saying, we don't have money for electricity. How are we going to pay gas fees? Jane Addams responds, ask JP Morgan. They are doing just fine using it for their banking. Crypto's win-win down here also bringing up that World Bank paper from November of 2021, specifically mentioning XRP and XLM as the stablecoins for cross-border payments. So, a lot of people bringing up the information that we already know about, but is there a chance that the World Economic Forum could change their mind? Now, I also saw this guy's from Jordan Satchel here on Twitter. The WEF is very excited about Ethereum transforming to a fiat scam. Front and center on their homepage, a centralized currency that rewards and grants power to those who control the largest chunks. ETH is a WEF coin and is now positioned as future global CBDC. What he is referring to is this front page article here, posted a couple of days ago on the World Economic Forum's website, stating Ethereum merge, what it means for the cryptocurrency industry. Now, usually when the WEF posts something on their website or on their Twitter account or what have you, they're always kind of behind the message that they're projecting for future use. It's almost like they're baking in a prediction that they know will come true because they control such large swaths of the world and they have a lot of influence. So some of the takeaways from this WEF article, Ethereum is about to switch blockchain verification from proof of work to proof of stake, as we know. The Ethereum merge could cut the network's energy usage by as much as 99.5%, so that's a climate talking point. It could be a sea change towards sustainability for the cryptocurrency industry. So a lot of this goes on, kind of explaining what the merge is. They talk down here about the energy consumption and how it has been cut by 99.95%. And in a tweet yesterday, Vitalik Buterin said that is the equivalent to about 0.2% of the world's entire energy. So that is at its core infrastructure. And then down here, explaining what proof of stake is versus proof of work and why the merge is important. So they go on about a 51% attack, and we know about that, guys. I will link this in the description if you want to read in depth what they're talking about here. Let me just get down here, though. What does more sustainability mean for cryptocurrencies? A successful transition to proof of stake would flag a huge signal to regulators that the crypto industry has the power to adapt in a way that prioritizes our planetary well-being. As we consider the White House Office of Science and Technology Policies report on climate energy implications of crypto assets in the United States, the Ethereum merge will likely invigorate further research and collaboration between crypto and Congress. The OSTP stated in the report that federal agencies should provide technical assistance and initiate a collaborative process with states, communities, and the crypto asset industries. Okay, let me just go down here. In parallel with the Ethereum merge, this acknowledgement should serve as an incentive for proof of work-based applications and miners to utilize clean, renewable energy sources. Doing so would attract lucrative financing from ESG-conscious business leaders keen to make green investments. Similarly, sustainable crypto mining would also draw the regulatory support needed to amplify and scale the industry's capacity to achieve its full potential. As the valuable job creator, wealth builder, and city developer, the possibility for further expansion in this space in lockstep with climate-positive Web3 innovation remains steadfast. So their biggest point here is obviously the climate-friendly notion or changeover that Ethereum is now relying on versus proof of work. So then I thought to myself, okay, it may still be too early for the World Economic Forum to put out another paper suggesting that ETH is going to be a WEF coin. But then I thought, do they have any partners? Is Consensus a partner? Is the Ethereum Foundation a partner? So I just decided to go here to their partner website, and I do not actually see Consensus down here on the page. So no official partnership with Consensus. And what about the Ethereum Foundation? I do think it's actually probably too early to see if they do have any partnerships with Ethereum. So are they making the move? I mean, it's an interesting theory. Now that they've moved from proof of work to proof of stake, and now that they've put it on their main page, okay? You go to weforum.org, and guys, it's right there on the main page. You cannot miss it. The fact that the World Economic Forum also proposes things in these articles and plan to back them up with action also raises some questions for me. But then there's the other side of things. The legacy banking system in the United States, that system that Gary Gensler is trying to protect. Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unboxed brings this up. Vitalik told y'all this was going to happen with the merge, and no one seemed to care. Ethereum is now more centralized with JP Morgan, not only owning a critical part of Ethereum, but I can bet dimes to donuts, they're one of the top validators. So just going back to this tweet here, do you guys think that one of these is likely JP Morgan? Things that make you go, So another clip here with Vitalik Buterin, this one from August 3rd. When Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unboxed posted this, this is exactly what's going to happen when the Ethereum merge happens. All those disguised whales like JP Morgan and Andreessen Horowitz will be Bob in this scenario. Listen to what he says here.
Imagine two people like Alice and Bob, where Alice has, say, $1,000, Bob has $1 million, then Bob will obviously be able to afford 1,000 times as many governance tokens, right? And so Bob will kind of have the ability to get 1,000 times more influence, which you might say is fine because Bob's 1,000 times bigger than Alice in an economic sense. But at the same time, the amount, basically because the amount of influence that Bob can get is 1,000 times bigger, but the amount of benefit that Bob can get from each unit of influence is also 1,000 times bigger, right? Like if Bob has 1,000 times higher kind of probability of affecting some outcome compared to Alice, but because Bob has more money, Bob also kind of in monetary terms gains or loses 1,000 times more from how each outcome goes, right? And so there's some sense in which kind of Bob's influence is quadratically larger, like you have 1,000 times the other 1,000 than Alice's influence.
So Bob's influence, as per Vitalik Buterin here, is quadratically larger than the others. Was this a move to centralize power to JP Morgan? And is the WEF now looking at Ethereum? I really don't think, though, that this will affect XRP holders. Even if it does, I mean, there's not going to be one coin that rules them all. The one thing I do see, though, is that the climate-friendly cryptocurrencies, these are going to be the ones that make waves and that are going to be valuable. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.